Hello, welcome to Tae Kwon Do training. I'll be instructor for today's show, Bob Lemire. What I'd like to do today is work on a little stick action, how we can defend with the stick, use it as blocks, and how we can use it as an offensive tool with some other technique, say a kick or some other hand technique. And you know, there's a million things you can do. You can make it up as you go along, but what you want to do is just get some of the basics. You know, everybody tries to be fancy, you know, all the twirling around and all that happy stuff. You want to get the basics first on how to control your stick without letting it go or without having too awkward. This is a kind of a long stick. You know, they're all sizes. They're all different sizes, small, large. This is very light. It's like a bamboo. And even though it's light, I'm still going to choke up. You're going to notice me choking up here. I'm not going to hold it all the way down here. So, because if you hold it down here, it's a little awkward, right? But if you give yourself something same as a bat, you know, people have a bat, they'll choke up. They say choke up. So you have more. It's easier to handle, all right? Especially if the stick is a little heavier. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple of blocks first. With counter, you know, a block and then a counter with a kick or something very easy. I've done this show a couple of times before, but I'm going to try to throw some different stuff inside. As I say, try to choke up just a little, depending on the size of your stick. Choke up just, you know, maybe about 5 inches, 6 inches. All right, and when you're working with a stick and you're working with your friends or you're working in the house in a mirror, you got to make sure you're holding on to this thing, because if you throw an attack, and now I've got all this equipment here, thousands of dollars equipment in front of me. If I let this go, it's going right through it. This is it's very hard. And if you're with your friends and you hit them, you know, never mind you hit them in the head, hit them in the eye or something. So you really, really have to pay attention. They sell these with like a foam over them, which are excellent, and they're sort of like a rubber. The inside's plastic, so if you can ever find some of those, if you wanted to practice some sticks without hurting anybody or hurting yourself, they're not expensive. Okay, so we've choked up a little, just a little. All right. Someone's coming in to attack you. You know, someone's coming in to attack with a knife or another stick or so. You know, when you don't have a stick, you throw a high section block, or you throw an X block or a double block to just block your head. But if you have a stick in your hand, boy, now you're not going to get hit in the hands, more or less, with a knife or whatever. So you're in a natural stance this way. You have your stick with you. Someone's coming at you. Say they're coming down with a knife. Easy as you can be. Look at. And notice I step into a little fighting stance. So from here, all right. Now, as you see, something as easy as that, people go, oh, that's easy. Well, you can throw a block, which is a good block, or you can make that block an attack. Especially if they're coming down with a knife, and you give, say like a punch, you give a hip jog, and you come up and you hit their wrist. Instead of just going like this, instead of going, which is slow, you come in. Now notice I snap. It's almost like I'm throwing a punch without turning. So from here, boom. Now if I come up here, notice it's just above my head. I'm not going way up here. I'm not going down here. I go down here. I'm going to get hit in the head. Just above your head. You practice that in the mirror for a while. What happens is you keep practicing this, all right? If you go at your opponent as they're coming down, you're going to break their wrist for sure. Or you're going to knock that knife or the stick out of their hand. Okay? Because you're meeting them with power. They're coming down with power. So you're here. They're coming down hard. Boom. Coming in here. Boom. Front snap kick. If someone comes at you, all right, with an attack this way, and I'm going to pretend it's a knife or maybe a stick, either way. They're coming down to hit you in the head. They're coming down to bodily damage. They're coming down to hurt you. You have to protect yourself. High section block. High section block here. The minute you get the high section block and you've blocked them, front snap kick, midsection. They're in this position. they're like this, trying to hit you, which means they just open themselves right up. All right. In Tae Kwon Do, most martial arts, we look for the opening as they're attacking with the one of their body parts, whether it's a kick or the arms, hands, the elbows. We're looking for that opening because as you're attacking, you kind of leave yourself open in one spot or another. So as you see the attack coming and you practice enough, you find that opening and you go for the opening. In the meantime, you're blocking at the same time. So say if I blocked here in front snap, you can get to a point at the same time. Look at it. This is just a regular hold both ends, block, front snap. Hold both ends, front round kick. After you've blocked, you can always push off to the side, block, push off, front round kick, midsection. As I say, they're here. All of a sudden, the ribs are beautiful when you want to, especially when they're wide open and nobody's blocking them. If you have sneakers on, right, the sneakers or the shoes, they're hard. And when they hit that rib, or any of the ribs, or even any of the midsection, there's a lot of damage done. If you can't even kick that high, pow, right to the knees. All right, high section block, push. You can do any kick. All right, I mean you can do high section block or reverse round kick. All right. Again, after you do your block and kick, come back and be ready. You might not have hit him or hurt him enough. All right. They're coming in. They're coming again. High section. So from here, meet. This is a little iffy, but if you meet that attack coming in, you're knocking that knife out of their hand, and you're breaking their wrist with this. This is a light. Some of them are heavy. I always would go for a light. And you say, well, what do I get them? You got an old broom hanging around, cut it, 2 feet, or whatever size you'd like. And then you have you keep this in your car. It's not a weapon. Keep it in your car in between your seat. All right? Something happens at night or whatever, and you're nervous, you've got something. All right? A lot of people don't want to keep weapons, and I don't blame them in their car or whatever. This is a stick. All right? So you learn how to use this. If you have to, you've got a little advantage. Even women. All right? A guy's coming in, you've got this here, and you know how to use a little. All right? And maybe a kick. You're going to probably help yourself out where you can run away or just stop them, at least for a couple of seconds. All right, so that's block. You're here. Someone's going to attack you. You always get into the fighting stance. Someone sees you in a fighting stance this way, now they're going to start thinking, all right? Wow, maybe they know something, even if you don't. Okay? You're here. Here. Now, see how I'm keeping my arms bent? And I'm snapping. I'm snapping. Now notice I'm getting a hip jog, snapping. I'm snapping anything that's coming in, whether it's a punch, a kick, a front round kick, or attack, you're snapping, trying to hit a body part. All right? And all you got to do is touch your body or a wrist very lightly. Very lightly, hurts. You hit someone with this, you're going to break their wrist. People don't want to fight you when their wrist's broken. All right? So that's pretty easy. Look at it. Notice how I'm trying to give it a snap. I'm snapping my hip. I've got this almost opposite, and then I snap. I snap this way. I don't want, people are going to have a stick, and this is what they want to do. Woof. Well, if you miss, now you're in an awkward position. They're going to come in and hit you from the opposite side. All right? So you want to be able to snap, get ready, snap. You can pepper their whole body if you have control of the stick. So you snap for a block, low section to the knee. Take the stick if you practice with me. Just touch your knee a little. Boy, it's a pain. The reason the pain is now this little concentrated area that's hitting a little concentrated area is a lot of power being exerted in that little spot. And your bones can only take so much pressure. Okay? So with the speed and the power of your hand adds a lot of pressure to wherever you're hitting. Right? Again, I can't emphasize this enough. If you're practicing with your friends or your relatives or your brother or sister, you have to watch what you're doing when you're playing with stuff like this, all right? Because it's easy to really hurt someone, all right? So don't adult supervision of your children. All right, so you're here, block, front round kick, bah. See, I can make combinations up. I just kind of put that together in a second. I didn't know I was going to do that, but it works. You try to get your body working together in a flowing motion. Bah! See, I was going in that direction, so might as well throw a front round kick. Then I'm coming down. Right? Then I can come back up with another one. Then I can spin. I'm always going to be ready. I'm always going to be ready for my next attack. So I'm going to make sure I'm in a stance, I've balance, I'm not overextending. As I say, people want to go, wah, or they want to go, wah. Now, as you're doing this, you left yourself wide open. If you're here, snap. This is, you're blocking, all right? You're here, and you're snapping in. That's all you need. We don't need an overkill, and the overkill is going to throw you off balance. So balance, even with this, is a must, all right? You have to think of that. All right, so that's pretty easy. Huh? So you have a block here. You have maybe a snap block here. This could be an attack or a block. Okay. Say someone's going to throw a kick at you, all right? Or just, you're here. Boom. You do this, and now you practice this in the mirror. Boom. You hit the ankle as they come kick you in the groin or in the midsection because they probably don't know what they're doing, so they're going to throw a wild kick. So let them throw the kick. Zap. Break the ankle, all right? It hits the tip of the ankle, or hits the your shin bone. A lot of power, a lot of pain, all right? So that's pretty easy. So you practice that, and you say, oh, it's so easy, why practice it? The more you practice it, the faster you'll get, and the more balance you're going to get for your next move. The first move is just to block. Second move is to take them out before, in case you didn't hurt them enough to stop them, all right? So someone wants to attack you. They're coming in. All of a sudden, you notice their foot coming up. You block. See how easy and quick this is? Right? It's in one hand. It's in both hands. This gives you stability. All right? If you just did one hand, the stick would probably come back and hit you if they kicked you. All right? So two hands with those blocks makes it easy. All right? That's pretty easy. Here. Here, here, all right? There's just a couple of blocks. And you can add any kind of technique you want, right? All right? So you blocked, bah! Right? You block their foot, bah! Front, just single punch to the front. You hit their foot, now they realize there's pain in the foot, and then as you follow up with the punch, high section if they're close enough. Anything. Any technique we've ever trained in Tae Kwon Do, throw it after you block. Right? Also, a lot of people think, oh, this is just, you to have a stick, you hit in this manner, all right, or this manner. A stick like this is great for jabbing in also. If you had a stick and someone came and grabbed you by the throat, say, and you have a stick, when they grabbed you by the throat and you didn't have a stick, you uppercut or knee to the groin or kick to the knee. There's a lot of technique we can use. But now you got this, right? And so they grab you. Now, see when someone grabs you, this is the opening that they give you. So it's almost like they grabbed you by the neck, all right, and you just come up. Look at how, all right, both hands on it, comes right up under here. I don't want to get hit with that. Believe me, that's going to hurt. All right, so you're here, they're choking, bah! Come up here, 1, 2, it doesn't matter. Come down to the knee, all right? Right? Once you start doing techniques like that, they're going to let go of that chokehold, believe me, because you might knock them right out. All right, come up here under here with this stick, or hit the throat. All right, They grabbed you, all right? Right into the groin area, right to the midsection. Look at, I'm grabbing up both hands. I'm using this butt, all right, the butt end of this as my attack. So that means if they're coming in close, now you can use this any way you want. If they grab you, shame on them, because now they took away one of their weapons while you got all your weapons ready to start whacking them to get them off, all right? All right? So in here, all right? They grab you by the throat, boom, to the knee, all right? To the midsection. Notice how I come here and snap, all right? I'm not going, but a lot of people want to keep their arms straight. Don't straighten your arm at all. Keep control, keep the bend. Boom, right here. Boom. They're choking you. 1, 2, 3, up. All right, down to the knee. You can get 5 shots off while they're going. They're getting the worst end of that. Especially if anyone has their hands around your throat at any point, if they're behind you or in front of you, don't assume they're joking around. Don't assume they're going to let you go because they feel sorry for you. They're going to do you bodily harm. Your way out of it, if you have something like this, is very easy. Every woman should have one of these in between her seat in her car. All right? Every guy should. All right? It's not a weapon that if they stopped you, said, "Oh, what are you doing with a weapon?" Oh, no, that's just a stick. And bamboo is really light. This is light. And even a stick, a broom, almost the same thing. You cut the handle, maybe round the edges off a little so you don't get a splinter, and you've got yourself a nice little weapon. All right? Easy techniques. 1. Look at 2. All right? 1 attack. 2 attack. See how I'm stopping at my attack. All right? I'm not going, whoa. I'm not going, whoa. All right? Snap. Snap. All right? From here, snap. See how I just spun around? So they're looking. They're trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Come around to the knee. All right? Come around to the head. All right? You just make stuff up as you want. The thing is, as they say, give yourself a little choke, they call it. All right? And if anybody played baseball and stuff, choke it up, because they know you don't have the control of the bat. So kids will choke it up, or people, professionals will choke it up. Now they got more control over that bat. It's the same with this, all right? And even if you had one of these, all right, and you hold them both hands, snap. You don't snap and, And I don't mean to do that to make fun of anybody. I'm not making fun, but that's nature. You want to snap and hit. 1, 2, all right, 3, all right? Again, when you're practicing at home, or you're practicing anybody, don't let this go. It's going to go hit them. Or it's going to go through the window or your TV. Right? I don't want people to get mad at me over this show because I'm showing people different techniques, but all of a sudden their house is destroyed because of the stick. All right? So you got a couple of blocks, pretty easy. All right? Couple of blocks, couple attacks. Again, notice I'm trying to snap. I'm trying to snap. Even if I was to jab in, midsection, high section, up, right? I'm trying to get a snap, right? And I'm not going to be wild because I want to snap, then I want to kick, all right? It could be low section kicks. I want to snap and bah. If you hit someone under here and they felt this going up here and then you come down on their kneecap, you don't have to worry about them anymore, all right? All these are spots in your body, all right? Your eye, your temple, your nose, your mouth, your throat, solar plex, groin, all your joints. They're all spots on every human being, no matter how muscular they are, big. Those spots are vulnerable to attacks. You can't build them up. You can't build up your knee, your joints in your knee. If I came in with a kick, muscles aren't going to save you there. Right? I come up under your chin with this. There's no muscle. I don't care if your neck is strong as that. I come up here. You're weak. We're weak. So you protect those weak. You protect the weak parts. And if they're not protecting the weak parts, then you have to go after that. Right? Then you're always, the more you train, the more you see how people, even people, tough guys or whatever, how they're vulnerable because of the way their mannerisms are or the way they handle themselves. You look to see, well, look at the weak spots I can see. You know, I've always done that to see what weak points I can see on a person and not even know them. But people kind of show you all their weak spots without even knowing it. That's a whole nother show. All right, so pretty easy, all right, using this. You snap, you can snap it around, get your wrist, look at, you're just spinning around. I'm not going to get too crazy, but that does scare somebody a little if you want to come in. Yeah. And then you can always, you can always throw the kick, then come in with an attack, throw a kick. And you practice anything that, combinations, 2, 3, 4, 5 combinations, block, boom. So I did a block this way. And as I block up here, I come up underneath where they might be open. So they come over here, that means this is all open. So I block, whoop, all right? And again, if you choke, if I had it full, held it way to the bottom, it's going to be hard for me to bring it back than if I choked it up just a little and I could get the snap. All right? That's where the speed is, in that little snap. You don't want a stick that's going to be heavy either. You try to get it as light as you can so that you can control, especially women and children or whatever. And then they have 2. You can have 2 sticks in your hand, and that's even better. But we'll work on one tonight. Maybe the next show I'll do 2 sticks. Okay? So you have the attack this way, all right, and the attack coming in, all right, even if it was with one hand, right, you come straight into the face, right. Also, if you wanted to practice something completely different, even a small stick like this, grab it here, and snap, snap. You're snapping with the ends, all right, and snap, 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 kick, snap. See, I'm snapping to any direction, and I have good control over this. Now I have control. So if I see any opening, I come in. All right, maybe I don't want to hurt him that much because it's not the full throttle, but it's enough to poke him in hard. Poke him in hard. See, midsection, high section, come down. Unlimited amount of combinations you can put on anything in Tae Kwon Do. And that's just with the stick. You start throwing punches, any kind of hand technique, and your kicks. You're coming from all angles, all right? So, again, you have to start basic. Always start basic. So it says here. I says here. Look at snap. And then practice this. What a workout. Bah, bah. Bah. Just do that, all right? So that's one workout you could do, all right? You're here. Maybe block. Attack. Front snap. Back in with a snap here. How's that? That's one technique you can do. And you make up the rest. Everyone's different with their body makeup and their balance and what they like. So some people might like one whole technique, and you got to do this. And you say, no, I like doing this. This is my balance. Everyone's different. And if you have a technique you like, you practice that a lot so that is perfected. From there, you go to your next technique. But you have 1 or 2 perfected techniques that you get faster and faster and faster. I suggest that if you have a heavy bag, that you can hit the heavy bag and learn different combinations just hitting the heavy bag, and you'll get faster. Not only do you want to get faster, but you want to be accurate. All right, you don't want to just flail this thing around, and when you're being attacked, you're nervous. And sometimes you lose what's going on. But if you practice a lot, that nervousness goes away, and your speed and your technique that you've practiced should take hold, all right? Anyone who gets hit by one little or 2 shots, they're going to want to say, all right, they're going to run probably themselves, all right? So there's different ways to hit, all right? Practice them all. Practice from every angle, all right? every angle, and try to get the snap. Not this. A snap, all right? A snap, see? A snap. Bah, bah, 2, 3, all right? As you're doing this, as you're attacking with the stick to any direction, keep the hand around here. It doesn't have to be a closed fist. You can be nice and relaxed, but keep it so that you can block, or you can throw an elbow or a punch, all right? But see what I'm saying? I'm not doing. Whenever you were doing any kind of technique and one arm's flapping around, boy, your balance is all out the window. But if your hand's here, you always get used to where this elbow and this hand in there in a spot where you can block. Not only keeping balance, all right, because you're not flailing around, all right, you're ready to block. So you get balance and block, all right, and then you're so used to being in that position. If you were like this, you would never get used to any position because your arms, you don't know where that arm's going. You're here, you know exactly where your body parts are, right? And as I say, you want to be able to block your face and your head more than anything, right? Other parts of the body are important, very important, but the head and say, the groin area and stuff, you got to watch certain areas, right? You can take a shot to the chest and stuff, and it's going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt like a shot to the head would and knock you out or maybe worse. So, again, they sell these with a rubber cushion around it, and you can still use them. I use it a lot for training and practice, so I'm not destroying body parts as I'm blocking. They're not expensive. You just have to go find them at either a martial arts store or a sporting goods store. Those are fun. And you really won't get hurt if you make one mistake by hitting somebody or they hit you. Okay. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Till next time, have fun, train hard.